Hi, Tracy. This is Ed Smith with Universal Digest. And Jim contacted me a few minutes ago about it sounds like a fairly extraordinarily weird situation that occurred last night from around 12 midnight till 6 in the morning. You and your husband Shannon saw it as well with Jim. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Tracy. Could you please tell us what you saw? Was it over the Air Force Base? Jim tells me it was around 20 miles away and it was consistent for 6 hours.
It was west of the Air Force Base, and we seen approximately 13 lights in the sky, and they look like stars, except for they lit up red, green, and blue and flickered. And then to the north end of my trailer, I seen one go west, and then it stopped. I thought it was a helicopter, and when it stopped, it just sat there and flickered.
And did you hear any sounds or anything at all?
No, I didn't hear any sound. The wind wasn't blowing, nothing.
What was the weather conditions at the time?
It was kind of cloudy out, but you could see through the clouds because it was more or less like a mist or a haze.
Very good. Now, Jim tells me it looks like you were viewing these from about 20 miles away. Tracy, do you have any idea about what the size of the crafts may have been? Just a general ballpark?
No, they were a little further out than I could actually see. I just seen the lights from it.
Now, I understand. Okay, very good. Thank you. From Jim's witness account, he said one of them did move from north to south about 10 degrees. And is that the same craft you thought that was a helicopter? That obviously was not, because if it were, even at 15, 20 miles away, you could hear something.
Right. No, it might have been. It actually might have been the same one.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, and thank you very much for giving your permission for me to tape this, and we'll get it on Universal Digest. As I said, I'll just use first names only. What else would you like to add to that, Tracy?
Nothing.
That's funny. Thank you. I know it's really so. Did you all three of you witness this throughout the night? Then was that the case?
No, we were getting ready to go to bed, and my husband went outside to smoke.
What
And
time was this?
he called me back. He come to the door. He said, "Come here, just come here, hurry," because he didn't know what it was either. And I was like, well, in my mind, I was going through like, okay, is it helicopters? No, they wouldn't be, hovering in the same spot as steady as they were. Well, maybe drones.
Right.
Uh, that would have been the same situation, and we would have heard like the propellers going or something like that. Well, we didn't hear anything, and we just sat there from probably about 12:30 last night to about 1 this morning watching them. And it was just like they were just sitting as still as possible, and they were aimed back towards this way. And I told him, I was like, well, I don't know. I said, maybe somebody's watching to see what's going on base. But
Hmm.
you had how when they were so far out, and you know they could have been closer if they were actually watching what was going on base, or something like that, but I don't know.
Well, did you see anything leave from the base? Let's say, to me, and logically saying, if these crafts were military of some sort that we don't know, they obviously are not um, utilizing navigation lights that are mandatory for any aircraft.
Right.
Like there's the same thing with marine for boats. So they
I
obviously.
did. The only thing I heard after we started watching them was you could hear one of the from here we can hear the air base when they start planes.
Right.
Well, we did. We heard a plane start, but we never seen it come out.
That's very interesting. Okay, so you see,
Yeah,
that does show that you had sounds coming from the base that you could hear, yet
yeah.
these airborne craft of whatever they were made no sound at all. And Jim, did you see them all the way through 12 to 6 like you were saying before?
It wasn't from 12 to 6, and yeah, when I gave you 12 to 6, I
Yes.
meant if you looked at a standard clock, old
Mhm.
issue clock, from 12 o'clock
Oh,
straight up and down to 6 o'clock straight up and down was the spread that I saw.
thank you for clarifying that. I misunderstood you. Yeah, so that's the range. About how long did they stick around?
Well, I seen them at 10 o'clock. I was not with Tracy and Shannon.
Okay.
So when I went back out and I was getting something out of my car, I noticed them again.
Hmm.
And it was like she said, about 12:30. And I sat there and I'm like, no, nothing's going to sit there for 2 hours. No way. These are not stars. These are not, you know, drones. They're not helicopters, because 2 hours of fuel consumption, I don't care if it's battery or gasoline,
Right,
somebody's going to need to go get refuel.
right.
And then, as she said, I seen one moving from about 11 o'clock till about 10 o'clock,
Hmm.
which is about 10 degrees.
Right.
And it just stopped and sat there. And I mean, it wasn't no hesitant up and down, side to side. I mean, it went boom, boom, stop, cold,
Hmm.
and just sat there. And like I told you in our telephone conversation, that the base for about a year now has been taking in gravel, shale,
Hmm.
concrete, but there is no sign of expansion on the runways that you can see. So if they're not going out, they're either going up or down, and you would see up. So that only leaves one direction.
That's very interesting. I do know that there's a lot of hotspot activity happening in various locations in the United States right now. But your account, you and Tracy's account with Shannon, is unique because the flickering of lights. Oh, that's unusual. One more question on that is: were they all oscillating the different colors of the spectrum, as you said, together, or were they random?
Random.
Random.
Random. Okay, very interesting.
Well,
Anything? Yeah,
the thought that I had, Ed, okay, we're a C-130 base here
right.
for the entire world. Any pilot that gets trained here, it can come from anywhere in the world. And I've seen multiple, okay? And
Yes.
I'm not talking about the UFOs now. I'm talking about people from around the world. They come into Little Rock Air Force Base. They go out to eat. You see them in their flight uniforms. I mean, I've seen from Turkey, Hungary, uh, not Russia, but a Russian or a country around Russia. Can't think of the name of it right now, but
Not China.
no Chinese pilots. But we do have a stash, and it's well known here around the airbase that
Mhm.
there's a place called the Hidden Hangar, and they keep fighter jets there, and they keep 2 flights, which is 6 jets altogether in case of emergencies. Uh, Good example, when 9/11 happened, we heard them fire up, and they were off and gone quick.
Mhm.
Okay, we rarely hear those, and I'm I'm of the mind they're building something underground. And I mean, you can't bring in truckloads, and I mean not dozens, I mean 25, 50 truckloads a day of building
Wow.
materials
Mhm.
into a base this small and not see something. So if they're doing underground, which I assume they are because you don't see anything above ground, and then you have these added into the mix from last night, the lights, they're doing something somehow that got their attention. And I do mean theirs as in somebody else's.
Okay, then the next question I would ask both of you is that did anybody see them arrive or leave?
I
No,
didn't.
we
They
didn't
were
either.
just there.
Yeah.
Okay. And there were 13 of them all total. And can you estimate, maybe you said there were clouds, but you could see them below the clouds, through the clouds, or anything that would give you an approximate estimation as to their altitude, how high up it was?
Oh God. James, estimate on the altitude of how high they were.
Okay, I'd give it about 15 degrees off the horizon because they were over the trees,
Yeah.
but just barely
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
from where I was at. So that's why I'm saying it couldn't have been that far away because of the clouds and the trees and being just above. I'm going to estimate, and this is just a guesstimate. Okay,
That's
I'm going
good.
to guesstimate about 250, 300 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
That's pretty low. Wow.
Well, I told you that we are the #1 C-130 base for the
Yes.
entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
they
would go
have the
higher.
most powerful radar system in this area to keep control of the airspace. Nothing coming in or going out that they don't know about.
I would think they were a lot higher than that.
You do?
Yeah.
How high do you think they were?
I would say probably 1,000 to 1,200 feet at least. I mean, they weren't.
Okay.
They
No,
they were low, but they weren't like that low. I mean, but you could still see them, but it was just like real. I mean, they were there. You could see them. I mean, with just a haze of the cloud over them, you could still see through the cloud.
Okay. Well, I mean, I get
that,
that you got hers.
yeah, no,
And
actually it makes sense because
white light.
yeah, we're in flyover country as well, and I estimate often.
I was talking to my kids about it today, and I told them, I was like, this is right around here is a no-fly zone because we're so close to the air base.
Right.
That's what got me, was because we're this close to the air base and they were right there.
I'll put it to you this way, Ed. If you had a satellite controlled drone and you sent it up 300 feet, the air base would see it.
Yeah.
And I'm talking a drone like so. The air base would see it. So the air base not sending anything out or anything. It's like they were in their own little bubble or something.
It's very interesting, the fact that there was no activity on the base with these craft running around, which logically would lend us to believe that they were probably part of the military establishment, because if it, I don't know.
Would think that, but then again, why wouldn't you investigate something? You know, like you said, why wouldn't you do it unless you knew they were there or you were unaware that they were there?
But you know, they've got radars and stuff.
Yes, Tracy.
Yeah, they have radars on base to
control the airspace.
Yeah, control the airspace, or to see if there's anything out, right around here in their fly zone. I mean, but they should have seen it on the radar that it was over there.
Yeah, but in so many documentaries that like Ed has seen and been a part of, and others, they could be right there and radar doesn't have anything.
Yes, there have been many cases of that, and the radar doesn't pick them up. So really what we've got here is a UAP situation, what we call an unidentified aerial phenomena. You know that they were craft. You never saw them arrive or leave. Like before you retired for the evening, they were still there. Only one of them made like a 10-degree movement. And Tracy, I would tend to agree with your assessment of about how high in the atmosphere they were, because if they were in and out of clouds too, that's a good, stratus clouds, not that it's raining, but it's cloudy. Your lower level clouds could be actually a bit higher than 1,500, 2,000 feet. It depends on the weather conditions. So if they were a lot larger than we could estimate, well, they could have been a lot higher, maybe 3,000, 4,000 feet.
It could have been a whole, if they were huge, they could have been a great distance farther.
Right.
That's correct. So really what we've got is definitely something that's unusual and it's not normal. So in essence, you did see something that doesn't make sense to me either, but we can't really ascertain what or know what it is or what kind of craft. But that's definitely a striking witness account. Thank you both. I don't. Is there anything else you'd like to add to it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I
That's
really
about it.
appreciate it. We're close to 16 minutes on the air here, and I can't thank you both enough for coming forward. And best to Shannon as well. And of course, I'll ask one more time, Tracy and Jim, I do have your permission to put this on YouTube as well as my website.
Yes, fine.
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate your confidence, Jim, especially knowing what we've gone through together. I could do this too. Tracy, I think you'll get a kind of chuckle out of it. This is kind of like the paperwork I went through in close to 2 years with Jim.
Oh God.
Oh my God, James, did you see that?
Yes, I saw that. I know about that. He likes
We-
my sense of humor, but he doesn't want to interview me.
You are awful.
No,
He
he was Tracy. I got to tell you, Jim is what you see is what you get. That's the way we are. He's as truthful
Yes.
as the day is long. And he knows that I cross-referenced him from, you know what, to Shinola. And he passed every exam and every test, and there were astounding correlations to not only his witness account, but to those of others and other case studies that I have undertaken over the years. So, Jim, what I will do, and Tracy, I will be happy to report that I can get this in time for the publication of the book on another article for you. And so
she's sprucing her lips up. It's not all about that. It's about getting the information out there of experience, so
yes.
other people will come forward and feel more comfortable about relaying their stories to Ed and other interviewers.
Okay.
Thanks, Tracy, and thank you, Jim, for explaining that. Sorry, I didn't mean to freak you out, Tracy.
Oh, that's okay. James explains a lot of stuff to me.
Well,
When I asked, you had to.
Yeah, but you never asked. You know it all.
No.
Well, that's
I'm not-
friendship for you. Hey,
I
well,
don't
Tracy,
know.
Oh no, I handed her my phone the other day, Ed. I swear
Uh-huh.
to God, I went from where I know everything is to now I'm searching my damn phone. What the fuck did she do with it?
oh God.
And all I did was I went to his, you've got like the homepage and all of that. Well, you can swipe up on your phone and then there's all of your
Camera over a little more. I'll get a good, nice. There you go. Perfect shot there.
You can get all of your apps down there. Well,
Right.
I took and I held on his messaging app, like for his cellular text messaging, and I pulled it up, and that's all I did. Now I've done confused him on where all his stuff is. I'm like, this is all I did.
Well, now,
I just
Jim,
tell him, I tell him all the time, I can't help it, you're old.
Tracy, please explain to him that he knows I am as I am. That's what you're going to get. Would
Yeah.
you please explain to him I'm not that damn intelligent?
oh,
We call
Jim.
him stupid. That's his nickname at my house.
Thank you.
He's mentioned you all before, and it's a pleasure not only just meeting you today, Tracy, but we went through so much together. I'll explain something else to you a little bit.
Okay.
Jim knows this. The website is going on 6 years old. I have picked a number of case studies, and one of my largest that I completed after 5 years of research is about the Rendlesham Bentwaters Woodbridge area in East Anglia, England, in the UK. And that is all going into what is known as, is about to go to print. It's the Universal Digest Anthology. And the book is going to be, available on Amazon, etc. But you caught me. I've been getting so many witness accounts coming in, even kind of at the last minute, that I'm making more room in the book that is really well over 125,000 words right now. So it's huge. But the accounting, and like Jim was saying to you, and this is something I find as a common denominator, and I really respect it and appreciate it. People like you are only wanting to do one thing, is get the truth out, get people to hear the story, because it's not that you really are worried whether they believe you or not, because you know what you have experienced. And that is the truth in reporting. And that's what I am spending, the time, effort, and funds to get out to the public. So I'm humbled. I'm honored to be able to do this. And Jim and I have been in contact now ever since we began. And what's very interesting is with the other case studies that I have completed, we're all pretty much friends, and it's really nice, good, honest, hardworking people that care to get the truth out. We're not alone, no way, shape, or form. I am an experiencer as well, and I've had 4 different experiences. Not that I advertise it, but I will tell you, you can't unsee what you saw, can you?
Right. No.
Well, I also want to butt in here.
Yes, please.
It's one of those folks, Tracy, that uses them $20 fucking words and messes with mine.
Oh God.
I try to.
I'm lying.
No, it's true. Tracy, I do try to keep it down to 4-letter words sometimes, but that's not really great for video.
Hey, there's a lady present.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate the time. And again, is there anything else you both would like to add to that, or are we pretty much good to go and I'll stop the recording?
I'm done.
We're good.
Jim, Tracy, thank you so much again for giving me a quick heads up from what happened last night, which was, let's see, the 1st of March. The beginning, well, actually, February 28th through March 1st in the beginning, right?
Actually, it was the 2nd, because theirs was after midnight.
Yeah.
Mine was 10 o'clock, and then I went back out at 12:20, 12:30.
So it was
to
March
get something
1st.
out. So it was like the 2nd.
March 1st to March 2nd. Yeah.
Thank you both for correcting me. See how great this works out?
Yeah, we got to help each other.
Yes, well, when you're happily retarded like I am, that's kind of hard to keep it together sometimes.
Diana, she uses a thesaurus like I use a baseball bat.
Well, I hope not that often, because there'd be a lot of bodies laying around.
Yeah, well, I got a backhoe. We can take care of that.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and sign this one off. I'm not cutting you off on the Skype session, but I'll end the recording, and let me go to here. Thank you again so much. This is Ed Smith reporting from Universal Digest with Jim Thompson and Tracy and Shannon, who is not able to be with us today. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You bet.